Hey guys, it's Alex back for another video. And in this one, I'm going to be talking about how to find more leads for your lease option business using the MLS. All right, so the MLS, if you don't know, stands for the Multiple Listing Service. It's basically a software that agents pay for, and anyone that has a real estate license is able to search within the MLS. So in order to get access to this, you will either need to have your own real estate license or know an agent. And nowadays, I don't think I know anyone who doesn't know a real estate agent, so this should be pretty simple to get. All right, and another reason why, well, I guess a reason why this is something that might be helpful is because we've gotten some responses. I guess some people in other markets might, from my previous video regarding the Craigslist scraping, claim that they're not getting enough leads from their market. So what I'd recommend is first of all is expand your radius, right, to at least an hour and a half, maybe a 2 hour drive. But if you're still not getting enough, and I don't know what enough means, right, whatever that means to you, then this is a cool way of getting extra leads, specifically physical leads. All right, so here's my MLS. Depending on where you are, what state you live in, it's going to look different. But you always want to set off with the search section. Single family homes, remember our criteria from the previous video. We're looking for single family, we're looking for 3+ beds. I didn't mention a square footage last time, but generally you don't want to be anything under 1,000 square feet. Price, I mentioned in the video for my area, I look for 600,000 or less, usually between 150 to 600, but I just do a maximum because rarely do I get houses under 150. And what I would do is just pick a county. So I'd select all for this county. Again, these are the counties in my state. And then here's where it gets specific. So every MLS should have additional criteria or some way to filter. So what I'm looking for specifically are entry-only leads. Now, what's an entry-only lead? Click yes here. An entry-only lead is a seller who wants to sell their house, but they don't want to use a real estate agent, right? They don't want to pay the 5 or 6 or 7% commission to sell their house because A, maybe they can't afford to, maybe they don't have enough equity in there to afford a realtor, or B, they just don't like the idea of giving up that much equity in their home, which I feel is the way most people are thinking now, right? Agents are I don't know. I feel like all the information's out there now. Before, pre-internet days, literally you had to use a real estate agent to get access to listings, and they would use a book, right? So nowadays, since you have Zillow, all these other websites, all a seller would need to do really to get the same exposure that a realtor would do is to list it on the MLS, right? Now, not to offend realtors. Realtors spend money a lot of times, right? They do online campaigns and they know what they're doing. They're good with communicating. But most sellers, not most sellers, but a lot of sellers are starting to go the entry-only route. All right, so I hope that makes sense. It's basically a seller paying a fee, usually $250 to $400, paying a flat fee to list it for X amount of months, right? That way they give access to all the other buyer agents. A lot of times they offer a buyer agent commission, but not a seller agent commission. Sometimes they offer no commission still. It is what it is. But yeah, so we would click yes to an entry-only listing. And when I click count here, you can see there's 26. There's 26 total. That's just in one county. I work in 7 different counties because I work an hour and a half from where I live, and that includes 7 different counties. So I'd probably have well over 100 here. Okay, so if I click results here, you'll see all the options basically. And just to give you an idea of what this would look like, down here where you see special showing instructions, it says call or email the seller direct, right? So here's an agent, but that you don't call the agent because the agent's not going to work for the seller. They're just listing it for them for a flat fee or as a friend, who knows. But here's the seller's information. There's their phone number, there's their email, here's what they're compensating a buyer's agent, And what this tells me is right off the bat, since I'm a private investor, I can knock this off right off the asking price pretty easily, right? Since they're not going to have to pay a buyer's agent if they're dealing directly through an investor or a private party. So right off the bat, I know I can negotiate this down minus 2.5% pretty easily, or you can just offer full value. You can offer full price to make it even that much easier to negotiate. Again, when it comes to traditional wholesalers, they'll probably have a tougher time trying to get a deal from these entry-only listings, because look at this. Look at the house. I mean, all these houses are in good condition. 80–90% of them are not all in good condition, need no work. No ways is a wholesaler going to offer 70% of this, whatever that comes to, and have the seller agree to that, right? But you as a lease purchase investor, if you're going to wholesale or even stay in the middle, again, you can offer them full retail or knock off this 2.25%, and it's still going to be a good value for them, as long as they can wait a little bit, as long as they have time to sell, to capture their equity, which I mentioned in the previous video. Okay, so that's what it looks like, and here's what I do. Here's what you want your realtor to do. You can have them either, boom, check up all these boxes, and they can email this to you right in an Excel spreadsheet. See these options here, or you can just have them create, or do this yourself, a market report, which is what I do. And in a market report, if you click new report, you create the same criteria I just mentioned, but all you would need to do once a week per se is just click on this, and boom, these are all the new leads from last week. You can see the start date, the 21st, today's date's the 28th, so it goes back 7 days. Here's my criteria: 3+ beds, 150 to 600, entry only, yes. Here are the counties. This is the greater Boston area. You can see I have 11 leads, including a withdrawn. So I also include canceled, expired, and withdrawn. Why? Because what better time is there to contact the seller when their house hasn't sold and they've had it on the market for some time? It's a perfect time to send them a message, whether you're going to text them, which I like to text first and then call them, or you can just call them direct. Okay, so for example, this seller took their property off the market this week, and there's their information. His name's Angelo. There's his number. There's his email. A lot of times you have to pay for this information, right? Whenever you get a canceled or an expired, you have to pay a service, so you have to do a lot more digging just to get the phone number for that seller. All right, so that's just to give you an idea. Here, let's see this new one here. And again, what you would do is simply copy the phone number, put it in your lead sheet, right? Your lead report sheet. Remember, the duplicate sheet, to make sure that this person's not advertising on Craigslist, which you'll find a lot of times if they're on an entry only, they don't spend the time to market on Craigslist a lot of times for whatever reason, because they feel it's already on all the other sites, which it is. It's on all the other sites, but yeah, so you would just use this, copy, make sure you don't already have it saved from your other scraping sites or whatever, and you would go about it that way. Okay, so I'd recommend you either have your realtor use the search option one time so you get a huge database of leads, and then periodically every week just have them click a button and email you the new leads for the week. You know, it's really simple. It doesn't take much time, and it's really helpful. These are on a weekly basis. You'll get bonus leads. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, leave comments in the comment section. And thanks for watching. Look out for the next one.